How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Pixelated Thoughts. The entire crew is here, and on this episode, we are going to review and discuss Predator: Killer of Killers. It just came out on Hulu. I'm a big fan of the franchise. I was looking forward to this film because I feel like the actual franchise is trending in the right direction, finally, with Dan Trachtenberg as the head of it. I don't think, and I've talked to everyone here, no one else has watched almost any of the Predator movies except for like Brad. He's seen like the first one, and then which one else did you see?
Predator versus Alien.
Predator versus Alien versus Predator. Jesus, man.
Alien versus...
I'm gonna talk about that shit in a second.
I thought it was Predator versus Alien.
But in
or
this,
whatever it was.
The franchise started in 1987, so it has had I think six mainline films and then 4 spinoffs or 3 spinoffs. I think. Let me look it up real quick. Yeah. So you got Predator, Predator 2, Predators, The Predator, Prey, Killer of Killers, and then they're bringing out Badlands, and then the crossovers were Alien vs. Predator 1, which is Brad's favorite film of all time, and then Alien vs. Predator Requiem, and I'm going to get in that in a bit. But I want to get you guys' thoughts on it. So let's start with Chibi, because she told me that she actually liked it.
I go first?
Yes, Chibi. What did you think of Predator: Killer of Killers?
I liked it. Let me just make sure I watched the right one. This is the one that... but I'm actually like go on a tangent. It's the wrong one.
Oh!
This is the one with like following 3 like different main characters.
It's an
right?
anthology, correct?
Oh, thank God. Okay, I really liked it. I did. I didn't know what to expect at all. So I was overall very like, okay. You know, I thought the main characters from each kind of like I guess like mini episode, I don't know, like parter, they were all really good in their own way. I think I really and I liked it that they were like historically different too. Like it was, I liked that like spice to it. Yeah.
How they tied them together and stuff.
Yeah.
So
that was really interesting.
This is your first.
I do have many questions though.
Well, we'll go on about that, but this is your first Predator film, right?
Yes.
You actually started off in a good place. Good for you.
Thank
Check.
you. Okay.
What did you think of the show, or what did you think of the movie?
I liked it. The action choreography was good. The animation wasn't bad. The style of it.
Did it take a bit to get used to?
Yeah, it's a little unique. I liked the different types of characters, like Chibi said. You know, you had the Viking woman, and then you had the samurai, which I think I'm a fan of the samurai side of things.
That was a fantastic.
The World War II guy,
episode.
the most.
Yeah, you like the World War II one?
I did.
Torres?
I like Torres.
Yeah.
Torres,
lady, obviously.
What'd you say?
You said Viking lady.
Like Ursa. Yeah.
But no, it was well done.
Well done. All right, Brad. What about you?
It was okay. It was a movie.
Oh.
It looked pretty. I like that art style. It was like a low budget Arcane. Like it was just like it was like Arcane, but without the extra,
without the budget,
finesse.
Hey, they tried.
I did not like the animation. The like
the
20 FPS.
Yeah, that was
frame rate. It just looked it bothered me several times.
It
the
made
stories were okay.
Sick.
Yeah, I could see that.
Oh, really?
I could see that. The stories were okay. The first one to me made the most sense. I don't understand why the Predator lost in the second and third one. They should have absolutely nuked everybody that they came across. The first one, he just seemed a little. I don't think he had like all the weaponry. He just had like his like pneumatic piston fist thing.
Right.
Yeah, he was just a Hulk.
The second and third one, like they had no excuse to lose any of those fights. But you know, neither here nor there.
We can't have the Predators win in this movie. You know what I mean? If you're trying to set things up.
The King Predator. I don't know why my camera keeps moving. I think I have like a auto tracking thing set up. But anyways, the King Predator. Yeah, the King one looked real dope. I actually really liked the way he looked.
I think he had
cool.
I think his cape was made of xenomorph tails. Right, and I think like the back of it was the head of the queen, which was I was like, Jesus, he's huge. I was like, what the? I think that scene where they're on that bike and they're trying to get up, and he just like calmly throws the axe to stop him. He's like, all right, which one's first? And I'm like, holy shit, this guy's scary. But yeah, I was curious to see how everyone felt about the animation because you know it took I want to say a little bit for me to kind of get into, but then watching the film, I was like, this is great world building because it kind of shows you one, and it reaffirms like what was initially showed in Predator 2. So at the end of that film, the main character, he ends up killing one of the predators in the ship. And then is Brad moving for everybody?
Nope, he's frozen. Clip him. Snip him.
I got him. We'll just
Got
continue
him.
on without him. But in Predator 2, like after the main character who's played by Danny Glover, he kills the predator. When they're in that ship, like one of the actual leaders like shows up and like says, "All right, cool, you know, we're honorable people, so here's your fucking, you know, here's your prize," and he gives him like an old flintlock pistol, and it showcases that the predators have been on that planet or on Earth multiple times. And this kind of more kind of fleshes that out, where like the predators have been on Earth since like, you know, the Vikings age, like since the Norse age, right? And then obviously showing up in Japan, and then also shows at the end all the characters, right, that they've essentially fought and captured. So that's been like a big question, was that what happens essentially, because normally when predators showed up, they were never, it was always like it was a 1v1, but then they'd always have like their team show up afterwards. So some of these characters were usually getting grabbed. People thought like, well, they just come back and get killed. So the last character you see at the end, that's Naru. And Naru was featured in Prey, which was a film that was made, I think, 2 years ago. And that is a fantastic Predator film. If we're doing top 3 in the franchise for me, it's Predator 1, Prey, and then Killer of Killers, which is probably...
Wait, so is that, sorry to cut you off, is that movie an animated movie too?
No,
or is it
Prey
like
is actually live action.
Oh, but you know it's her. It looks like the same.
No, it's the same character design and everything. She has like the same warband on her. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Live action and everything.
Hey, there's...
Oh my god,
he's back.
Your camera's still.
His camera's
He's
dead.
just a voice, though.
He looks very
Put on
serious.
Cup Dog. Bring him back.
Bring him
back.
Bring back the Cup Dog. But yeah, no, this film was like really good in terms of world building. I love the fact that we showed the Predator's evolution over the years in terms of technology. I like the fact the first like really big hulking Predator was like cranking back on his arm to kind of charge it up. And then the second Yautja, now that's what they're called Yautja. He was like aura farming the entire time. Don't worry about it. He was aura farming the entire time when he showed up with like his spirit and stuff like that. I love that. And then obviously the one flying in the ship, we've never seen these types of predators in like most of the film. Usually it's just like ground hunting. But yeah, I was a huge fan of this like film. I mean, I saw the complaint was like, well, how are the predators going to throw this one? Which I thought was super funny because everyone's complaining. How come the humans keep winning? I'm like, you can't make a movie like that. Is Brad gone for good?
Poor Brad. He's going through it right
Don't
now.
worry. During this time, I'm just gonna post like clips of the movie. Like, so
I'll just stay over on this side of the bar.
Just
right
lean
now.
in. Yeah, when you lean in the middle, it makes it look good.
Yeah.
So, Chibi, you had questions, right? Was that one?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of answered a little bit. So, I mean, again, I went in this kind of blind. I really liked the part, like after the first sequence of fights with the Viking lady, and like she beats the first predator. Because I'm like, oh, okay, like cool, like she beat him, and then it like I was really sad when her son died. That was really fucking sad. But I thought it was so cool when it like kind of zoomed in of her like in or zoomed out, one of those,
in the ship,
when she ends up in the ship. I was like, pause. So like for her, for example, because I mean we see how it happens with Taurus. So like for her, like is it insinuating like they came back and grabbed her?
So basically, like the Yautja saw that they had lost, and then more than likely captured them because they're great warriors, and then froze them cryogenically.
And is that the whole premise of the movies too? Like that?
So in the first Predator film, yes, like that's like, because that's like it's kind of like a, I would say like a thriller horror film. You don't really know like why the predator is there. The second film shows them that they've been hunting, but in Predators, which came out in 2010, basically what happened was they showcased all of them dropping into this like game world, so this game planet, and then it was like I think 6 or 7, and it had like a bunch of actors in it: Walton Goggins, Adrian Brody, Alice Braga, all these characters, right? And then they showed like the different types of like predators, the different hunting types, the archetypes, and they showed them hunting them at the time. And it also showed like how they treated the Yautja who like failed, like they punish them, like cut their head off, like they showed in the movie in Killer Killers. Same deal. It was a fun film. It did more world building than it did like actually add to it, but it was really cool kind of seeing like this aspect of like the Yautja culture doing all that stuff. And then I think Prey does the same thing. Is Brad back finally? This is kind of a sad.
This poor
Keep
guy.
leading
You're gonna
in,
have a lot
Jack.
of clips of the.
Oh, I'm gonna have like the whole thing just the entire time, just a bunch of screen grabs. There he is.
I mean, just zooming on his face doing
So
that.
I turned off my camera and everything broke. I don't know what happened.
It did not like you turning it off.
Did not like that.
Oh my god.
But yeah, so like Killer of Killers just kind of like adds more to the lore. Like so they've been capturing these warriors, these people who
the people who can beat them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Okay. Yeah, I thought that was a really cool concept too. Because again, I don't even know the idea of predators. I was like,
I
oh,
don't think it's very smart though.
Wait, yeah, to get the no, but they're an entire warrior culture. So
Right.
let's talk
Yeah.
about Alien versus Predator for a second.
I mean, fucking look at him though. Like,
Yeah. I mean, they're all like. So what's funny is that like the Viking one was like the most monstrous, dude, right? But like in the Predator, they created like a super predator, and he's like, I want to say 10 to 15 feet tall. He's monstrous.
God damn.
And that's like my beef with that film. It's like there's no way he would kill that guy. Like he's like that dude's huge. They had to do a lot to kill him. So like in Aliens vs Predator, it kind of reinforces that like they're looking for the ultimate like hunt. And the xenomorphs from the Alien series are considered like the ultimate hunter, right? Because they're I think they're created, right? I think.
Yeah, I think they're bred to be hunted
They're
or something
they're
like
bred
that.
to like hunt and kill and stuff like that, and they have acidic blood. And so basically that's how like the film was supposed to go up, but it turned out to be this like whole fucking mess, and I don't know why Brad likes it. Like,
Well, okay. So it's not a good movie.
Hold on.
Right? It's not a good movie. I did think the premise of like
Dude.
that the predators are literally just hunting the aliens
it was so hype, man, because like Aliens vs Predators has been floated around for years. It's been pushed out in comics and stuff, and they're like, we're making a movie. And then the guy who made the movie was the guy who made the live action Resident Evil series. So everyone went from being super elated to like, oh no, how is he gonna fuck this up? And it came out, instead of it coming out as like a hard rated R movie, it was PG-13. And on top of that, one of the funniest parts in the film is that they have this actress. I can't remember her name. Let me look her up really quick. But so she shows up. It's Sanaa Lathan. I love her. So Sanaa Lathan's in it as like this kind of like this guide in Antarctica, and they have this scene where they're escaping the alien, and then the alien and then the predator and her look at each other, and I'm like, is this like a romantic plot right here, dude? Have you seen what the Yautja look like? Fuck no. Like, what's happening? And yeah, it was a mess of a film, and there's a fun fact in it, and Brett, Jack, you've seen Resident Evil, right?
Yeah.
The movie. Do you remember the laser grid scene where that one guy, the lead commander, he got cut into pieces, right?
Oh yeah.
He actually shows up in Alien vs Predator and dies in a very similar fashion. They shoot the net over him and it collapses. The PG-13 version just kind of shows the net crushing him, right? But the rated R version shows the net like actually cutting him into cubes. And I was like, oh shit, that was dope. Yeah.
I will say.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say the first part with the Viking lady, that shit was so gory.
Well, that's
like just cutting him in half and everything, like the head and the spine. I was like,
I was kind of curious as to why this couldn't have been a live action piece. I'm assuming because of how expensive it would have been. And then on top of that, I don't know how anthology pieces are like received, but I also think like it is probably cheaper to animate a bunch of like predators just massacring random people.
Yeah, I do think it would have been really cool live action though. Like if this was the premise, like I would have watched it in the heartbeat.
I was like, it's such
I would have been okay with
there's
it.
such a grounded feel to it too, like especially when you're getting into like the nitty gritty of it, like showing that kind of Norse culture, that revenge side of it. When she like takes the axe to the dude's hip and is like torturing him, I was like, holy shit! She's like, you're not the lucky one. The lucky ones are all dead. You're the unlucky one. I was like, oh my god. Also, the dual
that was
shields.
a fucking line.
The dual shields are amazing. That was like, I was such a creative thing. I was like, oh, they just kind of took the metal, chipped it, like, you know, serrated it, and then just started using it against people. I did think, stupidly, that some of the people would survive, like some of her group, and then they proceeded to get folded. Like the worst.
Like 0.3 seconds, bro. Didn't even have a chance.
That one dude who got uppercutted into the
Oh yeah,
ceiling.
right into the beam.
Man, that was rough, dude. I was like, oh Jesus. So the sun died from getting crushed, right? I'm assuming. Is that where? Because they,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
something
I
like
think so.
that.
yeah. I was like, okay, did anyone notice like the second, the episode, the focus in Japan, like there was barely any dialogue. It was just,
There was none.
it was,
Yeah, no,
I loved it.
It made me laugh because I was like, damn, they
They're-
didn't get anyone to speak
they're-
Japanese.
They're not talking. Well, they did in the
They couldn't
beginning. They did in the beginning.
No,
right?
they did, but it was like really like philosophical like phrases. It reminded me of the other show we watched where it was like they had the white people try to speak Japanese and it felt so
Oh.
like translated. I was like,
Yeah.
so kind of glad. Yeah,
I was watching a review from somebody who was talking about this part of the movie, and they're like, are they brothers? I don't know. I'm like, well, obviously they're brothers. And the guy was like, I think that's like their mentor. I was like, no, that's their dad, dude. Like that guy is literally
like
telling.
we have common sense. Like
He's telling his sons to fucking kill each other to determine the successor, right? It's that's what they're trying to do. I thought that was pretty brutal. Did anyone think the brother was gonna survive? Because I was like, nah.
I
No,
kind
I
of
didn't think so.
Yeah,
I
when
don't
he
know, I
got
kinda
stabbed
did.
in the stomach, I was like, maybe
So-
he's got a shot.
So assuming that the trend was going to continue from the first episode, right?
Yeah.
That there was going to be one survivor. So I was
Right.
like, okay. So when the brother fell, I didn't expect him to fall. When he fell, I was like, okay, well he's just dead now, and it doesn't matter.
Well, GG's, guys.
I
Looks
mean,
like, it looks like you
but
lost the
there's-
duel anyway, bitch.
hey, he got his haiku in at least.
Yeah, at the end. Oh man, that fight was also pretty cool when they showed up, like they showcased like the chain and how it became essentially like when they threw out that chain and then it wrapped around the tree and then it ripped the tree to pieces. I was like, how are you guys surviving this fucking thing, dude?
Yeah.
Like there is no way. That guy's a monster. I do think like when they got to Torres, I was kind of curious. I'm like, I've never seen you've seen the ships before, but they've never like shown like any of the actual pilots or whether or not it has like wartime capabilities. And I just like the fact the guy who initially with the first survivor was like chains in the sky. I was like, well, that sounds super disturbing. Like that would be very concerning if that happened. And I didn't expect that I think he's a captain, the oldest pilot. I didn't expect him to get his head chopped off. That was a brutal end. I kind of expect.
Yeah, that was pretty brutal.
I expected kind of like a heroic way to go out, right? Which it was, by the way. I mean, he did give him time, but dude, I was like, okay, maybe we'll just show him exploding. No, they showed him getting his head chopped off, and you get to see the moment of where he realizes he's just kind of fucked. I was like, oh my goodness, that was brutal, dude. And then, of course, Torres uses like ingenuity. He survives, and then they all show up into the finale. Now, I do think that the last part of the movie was probably the most formulaic, right? I think I expected one of them to die. None of them dying is fine. That's cool. But I was like, come on. Like you're
No, him getting his fucking arm like
brutal.
cut off was
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. That was
I
such
was
a
like, oh.
I was expecting her to pick up his arm and beat the predator with it. That's what I was expecting.
I'll get revenge.
Dude,
So what is that big ass skull they were standing on?
that's probably whatever monster that like was on the planet.
Oh,
Like I
okay.
said, they're hunting like the largest animal, and they think like humans and essentially anyone that can fight back are the most dangerous game. So they celebrate and have a good time. Like I love the fact that they were like when they brought them out to the arena, they were bowing to them like, "Hey, cool, you guys are all right
I
with
did
us."
see that. Yeah, when they came out and they bowed, I was like,
No,
sus.
they're respectful of the one of the ones. So if you want to throw hands with them, they'll let you do it. I mean, listen, results may vary. You may get uppercutted into a fucking beam. You know what I mean? Like I felt bad during the part in Japan where that one guy got impaled with the spear and then the spear split him in half. I was like, dude,
Oh yeah.
wrap it up, man. Like let's all go home. I'm running. I'm never coming back. But for those of you who have never watched Predator films, what you also notice that they do not fight people that cannot defend themselves. So they will not try to like immediately attack anyone who is not a threat. If you are carrying a weapon, you're free game. And that happens a lot in the movies where like if you are carrying a weapon, they consider you a threat, they're going to kill you. And then they decapitate you because they take your head, right? Walton Goggins had probably the worst death, I think, in Predators where like he gets stabbed in the back, and then he gets his spine ripped out with his skull.
Oof.
I was like,
That's like a Mortal Kombat
it was,
finisher.
dude. I was so excited. I was like, oh shit. They just killed my boy. That sucks. But yeah, I thought I was shocked. I kind of expected that, maybe the film was just going to be okay, and there's kind of a low bar with some of the Predator movies, and instead it ended up being really, really good. And I recommend that if you guys want to know more about Naru, watch Prey. I would say like no, her name's Naru. I would say like if you it's not I don't even know if I can consider like a horror franchise. I don't think, because it's more like a thriller, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the first movie's fantastic because it got Arnold in it, right? It's got a bunch. If you want to see a bunch of dudes who are just who are just huge and jacked, that's just essentially what Predator is, right?
I was gonna say I was under the impression it was like a horror film, just from like growing up and being a kid and seeing like all the trailers, and I was terrified.
The first two films try to do that. Because it's like we don't want to, like, one of the most important things about monster movies, and you know this, GB, and so do you, Jack, is that you don't want to show the monsters too soon. Brad, you don't watch horror films, dude. You don't like things that scare you.
Yeah.
No things. Jeez.
I know that you don't like to be the frightened. You get that blankie up, right? Anytime there's a horror part, Brad's like got his eyes closed. He's like, nothing's going on.
He has his little snuggie.
Like, if I can't see it, they're not dying.
It's not happening. It's not real.
I think that's how my sister was when like Friday the 13th came on. She's like, I was like, they're still dying, Sam. Like, they're still getting taken down right now. Don't worry about it. But yeah, the first film tried to like really hide what the Predator was, and then eventually you see like its outline and stuff like that. But yeah, they're meant to be like hunters, super intimidating. But yeah, Killer of Killers just like expands on that. And then Predator Badlands is actually showing more of the Yautja. Like, it shows an outcast and how he like survives in an area, which I thought was kind of cool because that's never been explored before. Usually it's like they're hunting us, so maybe we can see a Predator win for once, which would be interesting. But yeah, I'm surprised that outside of Brad, I kind of expected Brad not to like the movie because he wants to be different. He wants
Like
to
it was all right.
Why does Brad want to be different from everybody else, Jack? Like, what's going on with this guy?
Angsty.
I don't know.
He's the angsty one.
What was your favorite part of the film?
Probably the end of the Japan sequence, where like they fucking cut the Predator's head and body in half, and I was like, oh my god. I didn't expect it to be.
How in sync they were with that, because
good.
I didn't know where they were going. I thought they were still fighting. I will say, sorry, like they got to that part, and I was like, "Why are you guys still fucking fighting? Like he's not even dead." And
everyone said that, by the way. I keep seeing comments.
I took it back.
Like,
I was like, "I'm so sorry."
Oh, they're gonna be dueling? Why? I'm like, well, I mean, it's still alive because it's cloaked, but more than likely, it's just incredibly hurt, right?
I like how they brought the leaves into this from beginning to end.
Jack's playing Ghost Tsushima, so he's like, I've seen that. Seen that. See it in the game all the time.
Yeah.
Nobody. Where's the fox? Why is the fox?
It's not telling us where to find the statue.
If I can't find this shrine, this is bullshit, bro. I kept thinking of Ghost Tsushima the entire time. Maybe like a little Assassin's Creed too. Chibi, what was your favorite part?
Ninja Gaiden.
A very bloody Ninja Gaiden, yes.
I liked a lot of it, but I think the part that like I was kind of fixated on was like the one of the last parts where they're like all in the arena together, and like you have the samurai guy and the Viking lady like fighting each other, and then you have fucking Torres just like trying to figure out how to use a gun, and then he's like, oh wait, fuck it, and then he gets eaten by a little monster, and then he finds what he's supposed to find. Like, I don't know, I liked that sequence of him just like trying to keep
the peace
together and being like, guys, we can get out of here.
He kept calling her like ma'am. That was really funny. He's like, ma'am, we have to stop fighting us.
I loved him speaking Japanese. I thought that was funny. I thought that was adorable. Watashiwa.
What did he say he was? He was like a hot dog or
like
something?
a wonderful fish.
Yeah, like a wonderful fish. He's like, I don't like to converse with idiots. He just
I was like, damn, at least he said like, hi, my name is Torres.
He tried.
Like, pretty good. Yeah, he did pretty good.
I mean, you go from two people who are like strictly from a warrior culture to like Torres, who's a pilot. Like, I guess you get.
Well, also it's like the, I guess the time and.
Yeah. I think
what
that's
I'm
a
trying to
I
think
think
of.
that's a really cool thing that they did where they took three people from different timelines.
Yes.
Like,
It's like because the culture there is so different too.
yeah.
It's like how you
Predator
interact. Like,
multiverse is going to start now. They're just going to start grinding
But
random people from different
but
time periods
you
and
well,
see
that's
Spider-Man pull
dude.
up.
That's what people are saying. Like, oh shit, Tsunaru's there, so we can see like all these different characters come back. But obviously, can it be live action? Right? Does Kenshi get his like arm back or like a
Give him a
robotic
robotic.
give him a robotic predator
Mhm.
arm or
Just
Kenji?
bring the guy from
the
Rurouni
Gustav.
Kenshin.
What's that?
Yeah, the guy that played the main actor in that, or main character.
Oh, just get it. Yeah, you could. I mean, like I said, you could literally. I thought they could have done live action, but I do think you have to look at like whether or not it'd be profitable, right? But if you make a good movie, just making a good fun film. Also, it wouldn't be 90 minutes. There's no way. Like a live action thing would probably be like a bloated 2 hour film, and it would be kind of a
No,
mess.
it'd be like 2.5
Yeah,
hours. Like,
we have to
no.
do backstory for each character. Why Torres hates his dad or something, or misses his dad. That type of stuff. Jack, what was your favorite part, man?
Hmm, that's a good question. I think anything during the samurai, the
This whole
sword.
thing.
Yeah.
Dude, that was a really underrated scene was when Kenji is trying to infiltrate and he ends up fighting all those guys and doesn't hit his head on on the big bell the
Oh
entire
yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah.
And then, dude, the most messed up part is when he gets caught, he just drops the dude. I was like, that was fucked up. Man. Brad, what about you?
Um, when the credits started, it was like
This,
that.
this.
No, uh, I actually really like the Viking. Like honestly, the whole Viking
The whole
scene,
thing.
solely because it just made the most sense out of the three. Like once again, I felt like it was kind of like an equal fight. It was just
Yeah.
kind of hand to hand combat. The second one, you had the Predator with his spear and his chain whip and his explosives and his extendo machetes, and he loses to other
That man
swords.
was well equipped, bro. I would
And
be.
then
Would you be embarrassed, right? If you were like, what? You're like the observer, and you're like, dude, what? Like, they have swords and fucking spear. You have a gun. Like, what's going on? What just
and
happened,
then
bro?
the third one, kind of the same scenario. Like they have World War II planes, and he has a spaceship, and it's like he loses to a gas tank, essentially.
He loses to the engine getting whipped into space. That was such a fun scene though. Like that was just completely like I'm like we could take Tom Cruise and whatever he's doing in Mission Impossible, put him as like in that scene where he's like
Oh
whipping around
yeah.
the plane. Yeah, I was like, all right, I mean that's a good point, but like at least the Grendel scene was cool too. Like them fighting the
Yeah.
king, and he just you stood no chance. I thought he was gonna snap both their necks, but then he was trying to kill Kenji in front of Ursa. He's like looking at him. I was like, this dude's messed up, bro. It's for the
Literally
hunt.
turning his head.
Oh,
Like,
dude, that was awesome. I'm very interested to see what they do next. I'm hoping that Badlands actually ties in to the Killer of Killers, or they just make like they do what DC does
Is
and
that
make
the
like
next?
really
Is
good anime stuff. Yeah.
that the
So
next film?
Predator Badlands is set like way far in the future, but because they use cryogenic technology, like who cares, right?
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want. You can bring back Arnold, but I don't know if he'd be old, right? If you captured him in the 80s, he'd be young and still ripped, right? So they might have to get like a body double like they did in the last Terminator film. Did you watch that by the way, Jack?
John Cena.
Oh, dude. I guess.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe.
The power of CGI.
we could pull out
dun,
John Cena.
dun, dun.
We could pull out John Cena, I guess.
You can't see me.
Yeah, so I mean, I think the positive reception to the film is great because Dan Trachtenberg, they clearly have a guy who I think can be the showrunner moving forward, right, for each of the movies. I do want to see, I don't know how anyone else feels about this. I kind of do want to see like a Predator TV series because upcoming in August is going to be Alien Earth. And it's the first series I think that is going to show up for the show or for the Alien franchise. And it looks really good. It's going to be on Hulu as well. So I'm very curious to see how that does. I'm hoping that they don't like fuck it up like they've done with so many other Alien films and stuff like that, but should be pretty good. I think a Predator TV series would be interesting. You can just kind of follow like a group of like, soldiers, cops, whatever, just have them get stalked around the city or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
The
if border
opposite.
or
Oh yeah,
what?
dude. Can we let the Predator win in that series? Like
But have like a runt predator, right? So like a weakened predator, and he's like trying to survive wherever, and he's being
that's
hunted.
actually what Badlands is. You just kind of ruined the plot.
You're
Damn,
welcome.
That's what they're
spoiled.
doing in Badlands. But I do think like because them hunting these warriors is like them earning their stripes. So I do think that would be kind of a cool series to have like this new predator and be like, all right, cool, man, we're gonna have you hunt our most dangerous prey, man, and you're gonna have to not fuck this up for us because if you do, we're gonna cut your head off. Like you choose how you
That
want
is
to go.
you.
Now you
You
can
will be
hunt
an
Adrian
example.
Brody in his current form, and that's very skinny, so you may have a chance. You may have a good shot at it. I also think that they should make video games out of the Predator series again because holy shit. Like, if you can make these animated films that look like this, why can't we get a really good Predator game? Because most of them have been dog shit. They had an arcade Alien vs. Predator back in the 90s, if anyone remembers that. It was a really cool looking cabinet. Actually good. And then they made a Predator game on PS2. That was not great. And then they made a multiplayer Predator game that's out right now. It's a 1v5, I think, where one person plays the
Oh,
Predator
that's
and
shut
then the
down.
other human. I thought no, I thought it was still going. Did it get shut
Okay,
down?
it may be. So I got it free one time.
Yeah, it
and
was free on PlayStation
yeah,
Plus.
yeah.
Yeah,
It may have been rebooted or like I don't know.
it wasn't good. That's for
Yeah.
that's for damn sure. It's pretty rough. But I think you could make a video like you could literally make a video game out of the entire Japanese sequence, and I would be happy. Or the
Oh yeah.
Viking sequence, whatever. And I think you should be able to play the Predator and have him get a couple dubs. You know, like justice for the Predator because he keeps losing and they end up getting killed in horrific, brutal fashions. I'd be very interested in that. Now,
Even Alien versus Predators, they kind of lose at the end too.
yeah, so like they do lose at the end. The
They
AVP
get
stuff.
aliened.
I really like if because you guys haven't really like been too experienced with like the Predator films. I would recommend just watching 3: Predator, Prey, and then you can watch Predator 2 as well. Or if you want to watch Walton Goggins because he's dope, watch Predators. Topher Grace being in that movie was really weird. I was like, that 70s show? he's too skinny to be a bad guy. Like, what's going on? But yeah, so let me see if Hunting Grounds is still up, Brad. Let me see. Is it shut down? No. 2024. It looks like it's still active, bud.
Okay.
Good for them, we could they probably did like maybe they had like an unknown stealth thing where they had like a like couple Predator skins that show up because of the movie. Maybe something like that. Maybe not. Who knows? But I'm glad that the majority of you liked the film. Jack, is this? I do recommend that Chibi, Jack, watch The Predator and then Prey. The Predator's not scary, Jack. Chibi, it's not. Prey is not either. It's just a really fun film to watch. And Naru is also amazing, so it's a good thing. I'm just hoping that like they keep the ball rolling with this franchise and not drop the ball and somehow go back to making shit because that would be very, very depressing. I don't really want this franchise to succeed because Aliens did well. Did anyone watch Alien Requiem? No, that's not what it's called. Shit. What's the last movie? Damn it.
I was gonna say I knew there was like a new one.
Alien Romulus.
Oh, yeah.
Romulus.
So
Haven't seen that one.
Alien Romulus was directed by Fede Alvarez. Fede Alvarez is he's known for Don't Breathe, which is a really good kind of suburban horror film, and then he also did the Evil Dead remake or reboot, and he's known for having like really graphic, bloody films. Alien Romulus is actually not as bloody as I thought it was going to be, but it is a really good callback. And if you've watched the first Alien film, it's going to feel very familiar in that regard. So it kind of feels like a soft reboot in a way. And so hopefully we eventually get a new AVP and it's not complete trash. That would be great. Please and thank you. I would enjoy that very much. All right. That out of the way. What else is on the docket? So we had
Persona.
All right, yeah. So Summer Games Fest just had its I think it was like it's day-long coverage, but it was like weekend-long coverage, right? So you had Persona 4 Reloaded. Was that what it's called? Persona 4
Revival. Come
Revival.
on.
Thank you.
Look, even Brad knows.
So Persona 4 Revival was announced. It's probably the worst kept secret because like they had the voice actors talking
We
about
all
it.
know.
Yuri Lowenthal talked about it, said he's not going to be reprising his role as Yosuke. Um,
Yosuke.
I'm curious to see like what they do or what changes they make. I assume it's not. I assume it's going to be more like 3 Reloaded, like a one for one almost.
I hope they do Golden.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're going to do like. I mean, obviously, I think the most complete one is Golden, so they'll do that.
There's so much stuff.
They did like a whole breakdown of Death Stranding 2. I saw that Brad was trying to play it. That was Brad's first text to me for Death Stranding. It's like, this game is weird. Like, yes.
So I tried to. So I got it for free on Epic Store, I think, and I tried playing it. Now I literally made it an hour, and I was like, I don't know what this is. So I never played it again. And then a coworker of mine, he's playing through it and he's like, dude, the story's amazing. Like he starts explaining all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, the second one is coming out. And I do want to support old dude. So Norman Reedus. So
not Hideo
you know,
Kojima. You don't want to feed his ego.
So I was like, I'm gonna try to power through the first one. And so once you get to the second area, I was like, okay, this is actually pretty dope. Actually, it's getting pretty. It's getting pretty.
It was a game that like I dropped also when I first played it. I was like, this is kind of weird. I didn't like the fact that like you really have to work on balancing and stuff like that. Like you're a postal worker essentially in the apocalypse. So, but the aspect of it, Chibi, have you ever played Death Stranding? Have you heard of this game? Never heard of it. Okay. Norman Reedus is in it. Hideo Kojima is like his first big project after the Metal Gear Solid series. And so basically you are trying to connect like the United States. So it's called a chiral network and you're going from pretty much, I think you start in the East Coast, Brad. I might be wrong. Yeah, you start in the East Coast, you go to the West Coast.
DC.
And they're like, there's like this really in-depth story, talks about death and how like, you know, there's certain people that like you who can see like certain hidden figures, and there's a lot of shit that goes on, man. It's fucking great. But the thing is, the gameplay aspect of it was so confusing for people because it was like you're delivering packages, right? And you have to figure out how to deliver packages. And when you start out, it's just like point A to point B type stuff, and you have to figure out how to navigate the train, put down all this stuff, right? But what they don't tell you, or what they do tell you, like mid game ish, or like a quarter of the game in, is that it becomes like an entire like it's a connected world for everyone who plays it. So it's a single player game, but whatever anyone else does in the world, like if they create bridges for you, if they create a freeway for you, you will see it in game. So you'll see zip lines. I spent like an entire thing making zip lines, right, for people and stuff like that. So you can create paths and make the game much quicker because if you play it just completely solo offline, you know, you're on your own. Like it becomes like 100-hour game because you're trying to set up stuff. But if you're working in tandem with like the actual world and what people build for you, it can be a very quick streamlined process. I think Death Stranding 2 is basically them trying to make it more like Metal Gear Solid 5, where it's more action oriented. Like they want to flesh out those mechanics because it's kind of clunky in the first Death Stranding, but it gets very fleshed out apparently from the demo.
You can't kill people.
You can't. Oh, you can in Death Stranding 2, I think. Yeah, so that's
yeah. Well, I mean, you can't technically you can in the first one, but much later because if anyone dies, it's like a nuclear explosion goes off and it basically vaporizes everything in a 10-mile radius.
Did you die? What did you do?
I did not die.
So no. This is the thing. If you do die or someone else dies and you do not remove their body and you don't burn their body, basically what happens is that they become essentially like a nuclear bomb and they will create this massive crater in world and it will destroy everything that you've like created in that area. It is phenomenal. Like this is the same dude that when he made Metal Gear Solid 5, everyone who played that game chose to denuclearize because you have like this multiplayer aspect where you can build your own bases. So everyone's like, let's give up our nukes. And they had this whole celebration, like actual cutscene of everyone denuclearizing in the game. I was like, that's world peace via violence. But there's Death Stranding 2 that's coming out. There is another game called Rematch. And this was a soccer game. And Jack, I don't
Yeah,
know
I
if
saw that.
have you seen like the people are like it's Rocket League without
People
the
are like,
cars,
it's
bro.
Rocket League.
Dog, I shit you not. I was playing that. I was like, it is.
Yeah.
The tech in it is crazy. The depth to it is so much fun, and it's made by Slow Clap, who made Sifu, which is one of my favorite like action games of all time because it's like a martial arts game. It's so fucking good. And I was like, they made a soccer game that quick, and I was like, why is this good? This should not work. But it's really good. It's really fast, and if you can work in tandem with everyone, it actually like feels great when
Pretty
you're
good.
playing it. Yeah, I was shocked, dude. Like you're kicking, you can kick so pretty much you can't really kick the ball out of bounds. You can kick it off like a barrier. You can kick
Yeah,
it
I
back
saw
to
that.
you. I was like, what? I was like, what the fuck? It's like we got flip resets in this game. This is not rocket.
Yeah, playing goalie looks like it's a pain in the ass.
It's not that bad, but I do like the fact that you rotate out of positions. Like if you run out of the net, you are now like playing defense.
Player in the game.
You're
Yeah.
not playing forward or you're playing striker. So it takes your positioning in in mind as you're going. And it just doesn't allow you to sit in net too, because they're like, hey, we gotta rotate, so you gotta have fun. What else came out that was notable with Summer Games Fest? There's a Korean game called Mudang. Did you see that? Did anyone see that?
I haven't seen that.
So
Mudang?
yeah, it's Mudang. This is the most insane looking game I have ever seen. Like I've been waiting for kind of like South Korea to kind of get involved in, especially with some of their games. So they made Trepang, which is pretty fun. Trepang 2's out right now, but it's called Mudang, and it looks fantastic. Like really dark thriller. Apparently, it's like stealth heavy, reminding people of Metal Gear Solid. I was super excited when I saw it. I was like, this looks really good. I'm trying to think what else was announced that was
Looks
really
like
big.
Splinter Cell.
Yeah,
Let's
right.
see.
Resident Evil Requiem. We're getting
Sorry,
RE9,
Resident
baby.
Evil.
right now.
Yeah, let's go, dude. And on top of that, they have stated that it's going to be actual survival horror. So if you were upset by playing Resident Evil Village because it was too action oriented,
just bought that. I just bought that.
great game, by the way.
It was like $4. So I was like, heck yeah.
Hell yeah, I did. Did you not get the Humble Bundle?
I'm gonna say no.
Yeah, they had a Humble Bundle with all the REs in it. Yeah, they even
Well,
had
Oh, no
Village.
shit.
Yeah, it was great. That's how I got it. RE Village, I love the game, but it is heavily action oriented. It was really funny because the way they showed the trailer is like, oh my god, I'm gonna get stalked by this really tall, attractive woman. Like, what am I gonna do? Don't hurt me, don't step on me. That was my favorite part, dude. Everyone kept when they kept showing the trailers, because like the first section you're in this manor and they show you chained up and stuff, and she shows up and she's a vampire, basically.
Yeah.
And she cuts your hand and starts drinking your blood. People are like, oh, dude, it should have been me next. That was like my favorite time for memes when they kept bringing it up. I was like, that's so good. God, what else came up, Brady? You have the list.
I really hate the fact that they
Well,
did this, but Atomic Heart 2 was announced.
Dude,
and-
why? Sorry, I didn't mean for the 6 Atomic Heart fans out there, you fucking tell me why that game got a sequel.
Oh
Like,
my
what the
God.
hell, dude? And it looks great, the visuals. Like not only did they get an Atomic Heart sequel, but they got a fucking multiplayer only game as well. What is going on? Like, when did this become that popular? I was so shocked. Has anyone played Atomic Heart? It was on Game Pass. Anybody?
Yeah, I did.
Dude, that was a fucking weird, awkward ass game that felt like it got by on visuals alone.
Bless you.
Bless you, GB.
Bless.
All right, you
Yeah,
get one. You gotta stop that shit right now.
You don't understand. I'll go for like 10 minutes.
Lock in. Look at.
The new Dying Light was another one that was announced.
So, Dying Light: The Beast, from what I was told, from what they actually announced, was supposed to be like a prequel or a sequel to the first Dying Light game, right? Because it features Kyle Crane. And if you haven't played Dying Light, have you played that, Jack, at all? Ever?
I think I used to a while back.
So
I didn't play it long.
So the first
I played
Dying
the
Light,
intro.
yeah, they gave up. You're like, that's too scary. We're done with this shit.
Zombies.
No, dude. They're fucking zombies at night. The
Yeah,
day
their
and night
zombies are-
they're
yeah.
terrifying. But I'm gonna spoil Dying Light. Fuck it, who cares? Kyle Crane, the main character from the first game, is in the second game. Or is in the
How
Beast.
could you?
Well, no. Like, it doesn't make any sense because of how like the first game ended. But he's in the Beast, and it looks really good visually. I was kind of shocked when I saw it because I also expected from all the stuff they were putting out that it was going to be a really short adventure game. But apparently it's a full-fledged Dying Light title. So it's going to be like, 15 to 30 hours. And I think it's co-op. And me and Chris used to play Dying Light co-op, Jack, all the time. And basically one of the best things you can do in the game is dropkick people. So you could just keep dropkicking zombies, which is like the best thing ever, dude. I think there's 4-player co-op, so it's great.
When I did stream regularly like 4 years ago, a friend of me and another streamer friend of mine, we did co-op, and we started a gang, and we were called the Thunder Thighs, and we used no weapons except for drop kicks. We only drop kicked things, and we were just like Thunder Thighs, and that was our thing. We did that for hours upon hours.
What made Dying Light so interesting though is that like there were so many hidden secrets. There's a Mario level in it. You got like the sword. You got Excalibur that's randomly there. Like it was such a fun game. It was just like when you got to the nighttime sections, it like with the volatiles, it felt really threatening. I thought that was a really unique thing that they did. So that was cool. What else big was announced?
Let's see.
Wu-Tang's got a game.
Wu-Tang, baby, let's go. Yeah. That's for the old heads, goddamn.
Onimusha.
Yes.
The Way of the Sword.
So Onimusha, so I found something out that I think Miyamoto Musashi is the main character. So when we watch the anime, apparently he's the main character in this game. So I guess that kind of connects somehow. But the game looks fantastic. Like it's that trailer was phenomenal, and it's coming out next year early. So thank God for Capcom. What else came out? They had a Fortnite trailer, of course.
Of course.
announced
Hitman World of Assassination.
Yeah, so that one's coming out for the Switch 2. Oh, that one just came out for the Switch 2. They announced Hitman Co-op. Has anyone here ever played the Hitman games before? Just raise your hand. Yes. No? I fucking love the Hitman series. I've almost gotten the Platinum Trophy, and I've done like the roguelike mode for Freelancer. I'm obsessed
I will
with
say, like, I've heard really good things about that one.
What was it? Was it Blood Contracts?
Blood Money.
Blood Money. Dude, that one, I was just a psychopath killer. I literally just murdered anyone in my way.
They're creating a co-op mode for this game, which is insane, and I'm super excited about it. It's always on sale because they want people to play it, but like if you want to stream something, Jack, Hitman World of Assassination, it allows you to pretty much do whatever you want in the game. Like however you want to kill. Yeah. You want to throw a briefcase at people and watch that thing home in on like chase people, do it. You want to dress up as a chicken and kill somebody with like a baseball bat, do your thing, dude. Like you can do whatever you want in that game. It's fantastic. Yeah. You can also kill celebrities because they're doing a James Bond Casino Royale right now with Mads Mikkelsen. He's like one of the elusive targets.
I saw that.
Yeah, the elusive contracts in that game are pretty much celebrities, and you get one shot to do it. So pretty much if you fail, if you don't die at least, like it doesn't reset, but if you do die, it pretty much like prevents you from actually getting that target again. So it's like a really cool challenge mode. I killed Jean-Claude Van Damme in a video, so that was pretty fun. And all his clones, there's like 20 of them. What else of note came out Summer Games Fest? I do know Steam's Next Fest is out right now, and Moonlighter 2 is here, and you guys don't know what Moonlighter 2 is, and that's completely fine. But let me just explain to get you guys into the church of Moonlighter. So, Moonlighter is a roguelike, and basically what you're doing is that you are a dungeon crawler.
You're a shopkeeper.
God damn it. You're a dungeon crawler by day where you get loot and treasure, and then you go back and you're a shopkeeper in the day, and you sell all that stuff. Moonlighter 2 is the sequel. People are upset because the sequel removed the haggling that you could do in the original Moonlighter. Like, you used to be able to, like, really manipulate the in-game economy to get, like, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that whole shopkeep portion was really concentrated. But with Moonlighter 2, it's more so they want to kind of have, like, this balance between, like, actually going in and fighting and stuff like that, and going through the dungeon stuff, and then making being a shopkeep more streamlined. You do get like a pet and stuff like that, so it's a really cool game. That one's
was hard too.
Was it? Oh, I mean, I guess.
I mean, at least to begin with, I played a good bit of it. I don't think I ever beat it.
I played way too much of that game.
Probably the first 6 or 7 runs, I was like, this is trash. I hate myself.
The combat in the first game was not great. You're right. The combat, it's kind of like a Legend of Zelda, the way it looks. The combat in the second game is far more fleshed out, and you get a gun. So I mean,
oh, nice.
You know what I'm saying? So you can get
they're up with the times.
You can shoot with the time. Everything should be a first-person shooter unless I say otherwise. They announced High on Life 2, right? I don't know.
That's great.
Did that say that was like in-game cinematics or it was in-game engine? Yes, Chibi. Yes, Chibi. What is she doing? You're muted, by the way. What is
She lockjaw.
They have High on Life too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's like one of my favorite
Xbox
fucking games.
Yeah.
Unironically, did I tell you that's the reason I had to get a new PC?
Oh, really?
Because I couldn't play the first
You
one.
are gonna have to get another new PC because the visuals in High on Life 2 look fucking insane. I don't know if it was in. I think they said in-game cinematics. I'm pretty sure, or maybe they said in-game engine, but it looked crazy.
When is it coming out? Coming soon. Add to my wish
It'll be
list.
next year.
Oh.
Oh,
this looks so good.
Yeah, they did
so
like
excited.
a entire preview for the Outer Worlds 2. So look, I'm gonna be honest with everybody. The $80 game trend is not going away because Xbox just announced that the Outer Worlds 2 is going to be its first $80 game. It will be on Game Pass, so obviously if you have Game Pass, that's the route you want to take. Me and Brad love the Outer Worlds, right? We fucking love that game. Brad just recently completed another run through it, right? A couple months ago.
Yeah, because I never played any of the DLC for it. So.
Right. With the Outer Worlds 2, they're adding in this new feature pretty much where like you have I can't remember what they're calling it, but in most games they have like the gambits where like you get like these kind of buffs, but also like a debuff. And in the Outer Worlds 2, they're doing the same thing where there's one of them where you have crepitus. So if you have bad knees and you're trying to sneak around, the moment you stand up, your knees pop. That happens in game, and when you do it in game, it actually gets you caught out. That was funny as shit when I saw that. I was like, okay, that's pretty.
That's too real. That's too real.
It's too real.
That was like it definitely makes the game unplayable.
I literally was like, I was like looking at my knees. I'm like, not today, old friends. Like we're okay. What else?
There's Ill. Ill, the horror game.
That looks fantastic visually. I don't think it's gonna get close to that, Jack. If you saw the trailer,
what game?
Ill. The trailer for Ill looked a little bit like that's fake. Like they're not gonna reach that quality. I think you'll be amazed.
For some reason, Game Freak just was like, "Hey, we make Souls-likes now." Beast of Reincarnation.
Oh, that's right. I was like, what the fuck? I thought it was Code Vein 2, and then they announced Code Vein 2, and I was like, well, who is this? Who are these people? Like, what's going on here? Yeah. Sure, man. Like
Square Enix announced Killer Inn.
Yeah, that's a team based.
I'm like, once again, I'm like, stop it. You do what you do, and don't do that.
I do agree with this. I am confused why Square Enix is, and I can't describe this. A lot of people thought that Square Enix was going to have like a really big announcement. They did have a big one with Final Fantasy Tactics Remastered, which I don't like. Listen, I have a memory card that has like 500 hours on that game. Shit you not. I love Final Fantasy Tactics. I have when I got it for the PSP with War of the Lions, Brad, I put in another 300 hours, and I'm going to put in another 300 hours into this remaster. If you guys have never played Final Fantasy Tactics, I will fucking buy one of you the game. Like that's how much I love that game. It's my favorite Final Fantasy. Brad disagrees with me. Whatever. It is what it is. But Square Enix, for some reason, and they did this last year with Foam Stars, right? Where everyone is hyped up because maybe we're getting like an old IP getting pushed out new again, and then they're like, "You guys want Foam Stars?" Like, wait, what? You guys want to shoot foam at each other in a multiplayer arena game? No, they did it again.
It was fun the 2 days we played it.
Yeah,
okay?
the 2 days we tried, and then gave up on it because of the sweats. But yeah, Xbox is pretty much like, I don't know if you guys watch the Xbox Game Show, but they're pretty much a third-party publisher now.
Oh, dude, it's so when you mentioned the $80 game, I like price increase, I think that's going to be the model now. It's either you pay more money per game or you just subscribe to us. Like
Correct.
that is the method. It's
I think
you
that's
pay
true.
you pay a year's worth of our subscription or you just subscribe to our subscription. It's one or the other.
I think that's 100% true because like when they had brought up Persona 4 Revive, I'm assuming that's going to be $80 as well. Chibi, hold on.
I hope you know.
It's going to be on Game Pass. Okay, so just
No, but you don't understand.
She was gonna
I'm
buy the
paying one.
Oh, I was gonna say she's gonna buy the collector's edition. And
Took the words right out.
the game's not even gonna be included. They're just she's just buying it for the statue.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
I've seen people do that, by the way. There is a game, Jack, that they also announced where it's by some of the people who worked on The Witcher, where it's a vampire game. It's set in like medieval times. So I can't remember what the game's name is. But when they showed this game, what they didn't talk about is how you actually only have like 60 days in game time, or like 90 days ish around that time frame, to actually solve this mystery, maybe like get rid of this vampire plague and stuff like that. Very cool concept. I wonder if it's going to work out in that way, right? Because you are set in that time. You have that time problem. So I wonder how that's going to work. But yeah, super interested in that. Yeah, but everything at the Xbox Game Show, they just became a third-party publisher. Hate to be that guy. So if you wanted Gears of War, that's now coming out on PlayStation now. Obviously, like it's going to be like every first-party game. I'm waiting for the Halo announcement, and then people are going to lose their fucking mind because Forza is now on PlayStation. Once Halo gets over there, I mean, just listen. I mean, me and Brad have talked about this ad nauseum. Why not just be a publisher? Like, you already have the success. You have the platform for it, right? Xbox
They announced their
Anywhere.
handheld.
Yes, like so. Just just give it up, right? No one's gonna blame them if they go third party publisher. I don't think anyone's gonna complain. Seems next best, right? So I spoke about Moonlighter 2. There's a bunch of other games on there that were really interesting. Jack, there is a game I do want you to play. I want you to write it down. It's called Holston, Holstin. It's a horror game. I've played multiple phases of their demo because they're still currently building it, and it's really cool. So like it has like an isometric look, like this pixel art look, but when you get into combat, it like shifts into like first person and stuff like that, or like third person over the shoulder. It's very unique. It has an emphasis on puzzle solving and action. Very cool. Really interested in it.
Interesting.
Yeah, very neat. But yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot of things to look forward to, right? Now that GTA 6 is out next year, you still got it's one of those years where, like, we have Ghost of Yotei coming out at the end of the year, and unfortunately, if you don't have a PS5, you're not gonna be able to play it, right? Because it's not gonna do a PC drop. Yeah, there's a lot of good games coming out.
007.
Yeah, the new James Bond. I don't know. Has anyone played the old PS2 games? I played the shit out of like the PS2 James Bond games, the one that were third person. Love that, dude. Love that. They had I don't know if Pierce Brosnan actually was in one of the games, or they just like face modeled him and then just like, hey man, let's get another actor because we cannot pay Pierce Brosnan to actually do the role again. But the new James Bond looks really good. It's made by the guys who made Hitman, so I'm really excited for that. I assume that comes out next year, maybe. But they also kept doing the cardinal sin. I don't know how anyone else feels about this. Is that they kept showing fucking CG trailers. We're over this, right? Like, I want to see gameplay. I was super excited. I'm not gonna lie, Brad, when they showed that Clockwork game. What's it called?
Clockwork Revolution.
Yes, Clockwork Revolution. BioShock Dishonored looked fucking. Yeah, you weren't wrong. I was giving you shit, but it looked really dope. I was like, this game looks really good. I'm a huge fan as well of weapon crafting. Like, that's a big thing for me too. Like, it was the only saving grace for Dead Space 3 was that I could build weapons to kind of break the game. That's why I actually enjoyed it. What else is there? Switch 2's out. You know what I'm saying, right? Mario Kart World. Look, Nintendo still has the most confusing pricing. I went on their deals list, Chibi, and it was like every game is still $60. Every single game is still super fucking every game is still like super expensive. And even when they're like, yeah, man, you can get this game 10% off. That's a $70 game, so you're getting it for like $65. Don't say thank you. Like just buy the goddamn game. But I like the Switch too. Honestly. It's pretty good. I think we made a prediction about like the dock. The dock's great. The upgrades for various games, like there is backwards compatibility, and it does do a nice little boost to image quality. Some games have not gotten it yet. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 looks and still plays like shit. Unfortunately for me and Brad, we really want that game to look good. It just does not. And what's crazy about that is I tested out Xenoblade Chronicles 2 today, and it looked really good. So I'm pretty frustrated at that. But every other game got a boost. So, not bad. Jack, you can switch to eventually?
No.
No?
Nope. I barely play my Switch now.
What if they announced Luigi's Mansion 4? Like, what are we doing?
Oh, God.
I like the contemplation. Oh, God.
There are certain games that like would make me leave.
He would jerry rig his original Switch.
I fucking love, dude.
I would probably get it for that game, and if Animal Crossing, they actually made another Animal Crossing, although they keep saying they're not going to.
Dude, I mean, I don't think you need to, right?
Hello Kitty Island
the game's
Adventure.
great.
Yeah, Chibi, every time I log on and I'm like checking out a demo and like recording and editing, I'm like, Chibi's on Hello Kitty Island Adventure. I'm like, what is that? Like,
I just started playing it, and it's been the best experience that I've had in such a long time. Right, Katsu? Katsu agrees.
So what is it? This is just
it's basically Animal Crossing with Hello Kitty characters.
Is it more multiplayer?
That's all I You can come to each other's island. I haven't figured it out because I don't have friends.
So Nintendo hasn't sued. Like,
yeah, it's crazy. They can't beat Hello Kitty fucking license.
Watch
bro.
Nintendo wake up and be like, we haven't sued yet.
You know who we haven't taken on? But Sanrio brand.
We sued those guys. We sued those guys at Pal World. Like, we're gonna fucking sue them. We're gonna sue Hello Kitty.
Yo, just because of this video, please do not take down my Hello Kitty Island Adventure, please.
I mean, I kept like, I mean, I think it's on sale on the Switch too as well. I was like, oh, okay, yeah.
All right, y'all pull up to my island. Thank you.
I am not buying that game. If you gift it to me, I will play it.
I could not imagine you playing this.
If it ends up showing up, I'm gonna build the best island possible. My shit was basic in Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I will say it's not as customizable. Like, you can't really actually build, but like you unlock a lot of things, and you can like fish and catch bugs.
I have so much shit in my Animal Crossing.
Dude, when I
have a baseball field, a soccer field, basketball court,
I'm basic,
a gym.
I'm basic as shit, man. I went to my friend's island. I was like, I look poor compared to you, dude. Like, what is this shit?
I have a friend, and that's pretty much during the pandemic. That's all he did was play that game. His entire island looks like a museum. It's like a maze of just random objects.
Don't just touch anything, Brad. It's like the mind of a psychopath.
Blood of the Dawnwalker was the vampire game you're talking about earlier.
That looks amazing. Check that out.
Blood of the Dawnwalker.
Yeah, definitely 100%. But yeah, I was looking through like the Steam's Next Fest stuff because I really like the demos because some of them can be like longer than 30 minutes and they can be hours long, which is super exciting. And they do preview a lot of the games that are coming out this year. And I really feel like, once again, that if you are putting out a game and you're unsure about it, right, just put a demo out for it. Right? Don't be like a IOI or they put out Mind's Eye, which just came out today, which was like the biggest. We all thought me and Brad thought the game was fake. We're like, that's not real. And then it came out. We're like, holy shit, it's actually here. What just happened? But yeah, that type of stuff. Yeah, if you're thinking about getting a Switch too, I mean, consider it. But like once again, I think the pricing model is not going to change. Games are going to be $80 depending on how I think Nintendo's thought process is, and people are going to disagree with it, is that like if they put a game out like Mario Kart World, you're going to get your $80 worth. And after playing Mario Kart World, I'm like, I can understand that because you actually are playing a shit ton of it. And then the interconnected tracks, that's a fucking cool thing about the game. And they actually added a mode called Knockout Mode. And so and let me just say this, who here has played Mario Kart 8? Anybody? Like, raise your hand. Okay.
I don't remember.
Going from 12 to 24 is the most stressful shit I've ever seen in a kart game, bro. Like, it is so maddening because in knockout mode, you have to finish in the top 20 to start. And then it's like, get top 12. And when you start playing against like players like overseas who are like sweaty and doing all this crazy tech, I'm like, well, I'm just going to get to like 8 and then die. Like, I'm never winning a race, that type of stuff. But yeah, I expect like moving forward, depending on the developer and publisher, $80 is here to stay. And I would not be shocked if like GTA 6 is like a bank breaking type of game. Like,
so I will say that the fact that Sonic Racing exists, Mario Kart should not be that.
And they threw shade at them too. That was pretty funny. He's like, "Yeah, we have cross-platform." I'm like, "Oh shit, you guys can play with each other, like, not just with people on Nintendo." But I mean, I think a lot of people thought like the Switch 2 was going to be like a bust in terms of sales. It sold 3 million copies, I think, like the day of launch, which is a record. And I kept telling, like, I was like, it's gonna it's gonna keep happening, dude. Sorry. But yeah. Has anyone got anything for the episode? Anything else besides us talking about what's next for Down the Rabbit Hole? Who's next again? What was the?
I forgot. What are we watching?
What are we watching? Did you put it in the chat?
I think somebody
I
did.
don't know.
Exactly.
Handyman Saito.
Handyman Saito. And then for the next
In another world.
And the next Pixelated Thoughts, we will watch Twisted Metal. Right? There you go, Brad.
That's also my suggestion.
Okay. Relax, dude. Chill. Holy shit. So yeah, if you happen to watch Killer Killers, I recommend it. It's on Hulu if you want to watch the rest of the Predator series. I think the rest of the Predator movies are actually on Hulu because it's owned by Fox. So yeah, do that too. And then we'll talk to you guys next time because that's gonna do it for this episode. If you like the content, please like, share, and subscribe. Bye everybody.